Well, that was a fun Christmas game, right? But seriously, we've got some issues. But according to Flex from Jersey, help might be on the way. In fact, the exact help we've been asking for. But before I get into that, hit the like button for me, and please tell me in the comments, who's the #1 trade target you want James Jones to go after? The Phoenix Suns have not been down this bad since we got Chris Paul. There are extenuating circumstances. Chris Paul really isn't even playing that poorly considering his age. However, the fact remains, the Suns have lost 7 of their last 10 games and 8 of their last 12. We've had a lot of injuries, and in my opinion, a lot of silver linings for this team. Landry Shamet has gotten his groove back after coming back from that 2 weeks of having a concussion. He's playing fantastic. He's never played better in a Suns uniform, let's be honest. Josh Okogie has grown into an actual role player that we are so excited to see on the court. His offense is not nothing anymore. It's really something. Not to mention D. Lee continues to shine, and Torrey Craig has been terrific, especially when you consider what he's giving us compared to what we got from Crowder. I see no drop off. And Sundo agrees with me, there's no drop off. Tell me if you think we're wrong. Are we missing Crowder? But look, there's no doubt about it. The Phoenix Suns need some new blood in the locker room and on the court. But we need new blood that can hoop. Suns fans have been talking about Kyle Kuzma and Kelly Oubre all year. Kelly Oubre would be a fantastic re-addition to this Phoenix Suns team. He plays seamlessly, dare I say, perfectly with Devin Booker and Mikal Bridges. We've seen it. He's playing his career best basketball right now, averaging 20.8 points per game and 1.7 steals, which is 0.1 off of where Mikal is at 1.8 blocks. And his last season with the Suns was his previous career high, 18.7. He's over 2 points more than that now. This would be an even better version of Kelly Oubre than what we had before, and he never even got the chance to play with Chris Paul. Imagine. But now that Flex from Jersey has come out and put his name behind the idea that Kuzma is really going to happen, or at least the fact that Kuzma is being sought after heavily by the Phoenix Suns, that one is starting to feel more real and more likely than Kelly Oubre. His tweet reads, "Can confirm from multiple sources that Kyle Kuzma is indeed the primary target for the Suns in trade discussions. As mentioned below, I'm told a deal involving Washington and Atlanta that would send John Collins to the Wizards is the deal being discussed. Suns absolutely want Kuzma." Now, obviously, people are split on how they feel about Flex from Jersey after the whole KD saga. Some people don't like his predictions. They think his sources are bogus. I remain steady in belief that this guy really does have sources. He's an insider, whatever that means. And if this is true, it can't really happen fast enough for the Phoenix Suns, can it? Especially after Monty went and made, in my opinion, the worst decision probably in his whole coaching career. On Christmas night, 2022, mark it down. He allowed Devin Armani Booker to bamboozle him, to sweet talk his way onto the court, presumably, for the Christmas game, before his groin was ready. And at what point do you expect Monty to just flat out be wiser than that? Shout out to Jose O. Before our stream started, and by the way, I appreciate everybody coming out and supporting us. It was by far our biggest live stream yet. Before it started, Jose said something to the effect of, if Devin Booker gets hurt again, then Monty needs to be fired on the spot. And I laughed and I agreed. And the more I thought about it, the more angry it made me that he would allow this to happen. And you can cape up for him, I always do, and say that, what was he supposed to do, hold him out? But to that I say yes. Yes. The Suns broke protocol. Normally, they don't let you play unless you've practiced once or twice, minimum. You always see Suns players return to practice and then the game. Well, Booker didn't do any of that, allegedly. None that we saw, and it cost him. It cost us. But our next 15 games are very tough. all losable games. But beyond us needing help for the near future, this Suns team needs another player on the wing that can score for himself. It has been the second biggest problem for the Phoenix Suns. First being they've needed a competent backup point guard that can maybe take the reins someday for Chris Paul. When Kyle Kuzma came into this league, I hated him. I couldn't stand his pregame clothing antics or, his fashion antics. I completely abhor the Los Angeles Lakers. So those two strikes were against him, and I never really gave him a chance until this year. Watching from afar, if you're paying attention to the NBA outside of the Phoenix Suns, Kyle Kuzma been ballin'. Like, honestly, ballin'. 21.8 points per game ballin'. I mean, we are talking 22 points a game, almost 8 rebounds a game, and 3.5 assists. Compare and contrast that to our beloved Mikal Bridges. He's only averaging 15 and 8, 4.7 rebounds per game. I mean, Kuzma's getting more than 3 rebounds more per game than Bridges. And Bridges is averaging a half of an assist less. Now we know what you're saying. Defensively though, Mikal is leaps and bounds ahead of Kuzma. But is he? I mean, statistically, Mikal averages 2 turnovers per game and Kuzma averages 1. Kuzma can switch on defense, and he's proven as a scorer now. Now, I'm definitely not saying I want to trade Mikal for Kuzma. I'm just saying, imagine these two dudes together, and imagine having a better wing than Mikal out there offensively, consistently. Considering Cam Johnson, unfortunately, gets hurt every other game on average. Let's talk last 5 games to give you a short sample size. For Mikal, 13 points, 5, 10, 20, 15 points. Okay, Kyle Kuzma's last 5 games, 32, 21, 29, 22, 17. He's 6'9", and the way Monty loves playing small ball, he will fit right in with his offense. And then when Cam Johnson comes back, we will have a discussion about who's going to start and who's going to be on the bench. I'm not opposed to either of them having either role. This is a perfect fit. It's a no-brainer. And the Suns need to make it happen. James Jones needs to get a win. It's been documented that Kuzma likes Phoenix. He's tweeted about how great our jerseys look. I mean, he's not even really being that subtle. He loves the Suns as an idea of a way to get out of Washington. And who can blame him? No offense, Washington. But if James Jones doesn't get this done or a move similar before the deadline, his clock is ticking, like CP3's biological clock. Tell me what you think in the comments below. Do you want Kyle Kuzma in a Suns uniform? Do you believe flex from Jersey? Or are you taking the wait and see approach after the KD saga? See you next time. Go Suns.